On November 8, 1942, in Tunisia, North Africa, Obergefreiter Wilhelm Schmidt found himself hunkered down behind a stone wall near the town of Sidi, buzzed as dawn broke, casting shadows over the arid landscape. His hands were tightly wrapped around his Karabiner 98,000 rifle, which felt reassuringly familiar after 3 years of service. The standard procedure was to load one round, pull the trigger, retract the bolt, eject the spent cartridge, push forward again, and repeat the cycle with each shot fired. This methodical sequence had served German infantrymen well in campaigns across Poland, France, and deep into Russia. However, when American troops began advancing across the dusty terrain, Schmidt was informed that these soldiers were untested and poorly trained, their weapons inferior to those of the Germans. It quickly became clear within the next minute that this assessment would prove disastrously incorrect. As soon as the Americans opened fire, the sound was unlike anything Schmidt had encountered before. Instead of the sharp cracks from bolt-action rifles, there was a continuous roar of semi-automatic gunfire without pause for reloading. An American soldier managed to empty his entire 8-round clip and start reloading even before Schmidt could get off 3 shots with his rifle. This marked the introduction of the M1 Garand rifle, which would soon revolutionize infantry combat tactics. Not only did it outperform German weapons in terms of firepower, but also shattered the psychological confidence built on centuries of military tradition. This encounter was not merely a tale of superior technology, but rather signaled an abrupt shift in tactical approaches that challenged the very foundation of German military doctrine. The Karabiner 98,000 was officially adopted on June 21, 1935, marking a peak in bolt-action rifle design. Known for its accuracy at ranges up to 550 yards with iron sights, it remained dependable even under harsh conditions such as mud and freezing weather. Its straightforward maintenance made it ideal for conscripts. The German military believed the Kar98,000 encapsulated all essential features of an effective infantry weapon. It utilized the potent 7.92 x57 Mauser cartridge, capable of penetrating significant cover materials. In skilled hands, this rifle played a crucial role in conquering much of Europe. German doctrine emphasized precise aimed fire from fortified positions. Training focused on delivering each shot with care and intent. An experienced soldier could manage around 15 rounds per minute with the Kar98,000 through practiced bolt operation. This rate was deemed sufficient against similarly armed adversaries like Poland, France, and Britain. The British Lee-Enfield rifle had a 10-round magazine and could fire faster. However, German officers viewed this as a compromise in terms of accuracy. Upon the arrival of American forces in North Africa during Operation Torch in November 1942, German intelligence compiled detailed assessments of U.S. weaponry. These evaluations highlighted abundant industrial output, but noted shortcomings in tactical proficiency among American troops. The M1 Garand was recognized as an intriguing semi-automatic rifle, but not a cause for alarm. Analysts observed its 8-round magazine and automatic loading mechanism, yet pointed out that it weighed about 9.5 pounds, compared to the Kar98,000's lighter frame at approximately 8.2 pounds. Overall, assessments concluded that while the M1 provided greater volume of fire, it sacrificed accuracy and reliability inherent in bolt-action designs. However, American forces had been employing the M1 Garand since December 8, 1941, when Japanese troops invaded the Philippines following the Pearl Harbor attack. Rifles manufactured between August and November 1941 were issued to units including the U.S. Army's Philippine Division and elite Philippine Scouts. These soldiers effectively utilized their M1s in combat conditions, sometimes misleading Japanese forces into thinking they faced machine gun fire due to rapid gunfire. General Douglas MacArthur, upon sending a cable in February 1942, commended the rifle's performance in trench warfare during the Philippines conflict. By the time German troops engaged American forces in North Africa, the M1 Garand had already demonstrated its capabilities over nearly a year of intense jungle warfare. The harsh reality on African battlefields shattered German assumptions with ruthless precision. Schmidt's unit prepared defensive positions, anticipating that disciplined aimed fire would halt American advances. However, when the Americans attacked, they faced an overwhelming volume of return rifle fire rather than machine gun fire, which Germans were accustomed to and knew how to counteract. German soldiers fired their weapons, worked the bolt, re-aimed at targets, and fired again. Experienced troops managed about 15 rounds per minute, while each American soldier was firing between 30 and 40 rounds per minute with remarkable accuracy. The Germans found it impossible to suppress this intense rate of fire. Every time they raised their heads to shoot, multiple rounds were immediately returned. The mathematics spoke for themselves. In a 2-minute engagement, a German soldier using a Kar98k might manage around 30 aimed shots. Meanwhile, an American with an M1 Garand could fire approximately 80 rounds in the same time frame. Crucially, after each shot, the German had to break his aim, work the bolt, reacquire the target, and then fire again. In contrast, the American simply pulled the trigger 8 times in quick succession, with only minor disturbance to his sight picture due to the rifle's modest recoil. The M1 Garand's semi-automatic function was powered by a gas-operated system. As each round fired, propellant gases were diverted through a port in the barrel into a cylinder beneath it. This mechanism drove a piston that cycled the action, ejecting spent cartridges and chambering fresh ones. The entire process occurred within a fraction of a second, and the rifle's action remained closed between shots, preserving barrel-to-sight alignment throughout. Despite its rapid-fire capabilities, accuracy remained high. Tests conducted at Springfield Armory showed that the M1 rifle could maintain groupings within 4 minutes of angle, equating to 4 inches of spread at 100 yards. Many production models actually outperformed these standards. In a letter dated January 26, 1945, General George S. Patton wrote to Major General Levin H. Campbell, Jr., Chief of Ordnance, stating that in his opinion, the M1 rifle was the greatest battle weapon ever created. This assertion wasn't an exaggeration. Patton recognized how the rifle had revolutionized infantry combat. A soldier equipped with an M1 Garand could deliver firepower comparable to multiple riflemen using bolt-action weapons, while maintaining accuracy, reliability, and effective range. By mid-minus 1943, entire divisions of the United States Army were being supplied with M1 Garands. Between 1937 and 1945, roughly 4,040,802 M1 rifles were manufactured. Springfield Armory in Massachusetts produced 3,526,922 of these weapons, while Winchester Repeating Arms in Connecticut made 513,880. Production levels reached such heights that by D-Day in June 1944, virtually every American infantryman carried an M1 Garand. This marked a significant milestone, as millions of troops were armed with semi-automatic rifles, while their adversaries still relied on bolt-action weapons. The technical specifications of the M1 Garand only partially conveyed its impact. It fired the 30-6 Springfield cartridge, a powerful round used by American forces since 1906. This cartridge propelled a 150-grain bullet at approximately 28.0 feet per second, providing substantial energy over long distances. The rifle was loaded using an 8-round en bloc clip inserted directly into the action of the weapon. Once the last round was fired, the empty clip would eject with a distinct metallic sound. Although there were concerns that this noise could alert enemies, combat veterans uniformly reported that the general din of battle rendered the ping inaudible beyond just a few yards. The Mohn rifle's reliability became legendary after enduring harsh conditions in North Africa, Italy, Northern Europe, and later Korea, with minimal maintenance required. The rifle could be field-stripped without tools, allowing for quick cleaning and reassembly of its operating rod and bolt within minutes. German observers consistently noted this reliability with a mix of respect and frustration. German defensive tactics heavily relied on machine guns providing suppressive fire, while riflemen engaged targets with precise shots. Weapons like the MG-34 and later the MG-42 were formidable, but required crew support, ammunition bearers, and protection against artillery. The introduction of the M1 Garand shifted this dynamic. American infantry squads armed with these rifles could generate firepower comparable to that of German machine gun teams. More crucially, this firepower was spread across each soldier within a squad. During the Italian campaign starting in September 1943, German forces gained extensive experience combating American troops. From the Salerno landings to the brutal fight for Rome, German infantry found themselves consistently outgunned by American riflemen. A March 1944 report from the captured 94th Infantry Division noted that encounters with American infantry often resulted in Germans being pinned down by rifle fire, even when occupying superior positions. The report suggested increasing machine gun allocation to counterbalance the American advantage in infantry firepower. Recognizing this issue, the German military attempted solutions. Introduced in 1941, the WWII was Germany's first semi-automatic infantry rifle, with two competing designs, G41 Million from Mauser and G41W from Walter. Both proved to be deeply flawed, partly due to a design constraint that prohibited drilling gas ports into the barrel out of concern for premature wear. This led designers to implement complex muzzle-based gas trap systems instead. These systems were found to be unreliable, prone to malfunctioning easily, and adding excessive weight. Manufacturing and maintaining these rifles was complex. Production quantities remained low, with estimates ranging between 6,000 and 15,000 units before the design was discontinued. German engineers examined Soviet SV-T-40 rifles captured from the Red Army and acknowledged that the gas port system they had previously rejected actually functioned effectively. As a result, the WWII was introduced in October 1943. This firearm featured a simpler gas mechanism and an interchangeable 10-round magazine. It was lighter and more dependable than its predecessor, the G41 series. By the end of the war, approximately 400 to 2713 WWII rifles were produced, with around 53,435 fitted with telescopic sights for designated marksman roles. Despite being a capable weapon and well received by soldiers who used it, the G43 arrived too late in insufficient numbers. For every 98,000 rifles manufactured, only one G43 was produced. Most German infantry continued to use bolt-action rifles throughout the war. Even those soldiers who received the G43 noted that it did not match up with the American M1 Garand. Although effective, the German rifle was more intricate and harder to maintain in field conditions due to parts availability issues, as German industry faced increasing strain. The core issue lay in Germany entering the conflict without an efficient semi-automatic infantry rifle and failing to catch up. Beyond just enhancing firepower, the impact of the M1 Garand extended into American infantry tactics. Training focused on rapid target acquisition and sustained firing. Each squad was expected to deliver significant fire quickly. Squads advanced by alternating covering fire with movement, a tactic made extremely effective due to the high volume of fire from the M1 Garand. On June 6, 1944, at Omaha Beach, a full-strength infantry division of 12,020 soldiers defended fortified positions on the bluffs with formidable defenses, including reinforced concrete emplacements and interlocking machine gun nests. When American troops reached the base of these defensive cliffs, they faced intense fire from well-entrenched German defenders equipped with semi-automatic rifles. The volume of gunfire was overwhelming, making it difficult for the Germans to maintain accurate aim due to the sheer number of incoming rounds. During the battles in Normandy between June and July 1944, American infantrymen were extensively exposed to superior firepower that rendered traditional German tactics ineffective. In the close-quarters combat within hedgerow-filled terrain, where engagements occurred at ranges under 100 yards, the rapid-fire capability of the M1 Garand proved crucial in breaking through enemy defenses. Post-war analysis by the U.S. Army's Historical Division, based on after-action reports and casualty data, showed that American infantry squads were achieving higher-than-expected casualty rates despite numerical disadvantages. Factors such as artillery support, air superiority, and logistics played roles, but the consistent advantage in infantry engagements pointed to the M1 Garand's effectiveness. American soldiers could often outperform their adversaries even when outnumbered if they had adequate cover and sufficient ammunition supplies. To counter this threat, the Germans developed the Sturmgewehr 44, which was the world's first true assault rifle. It fired an intermediate cartridge from a 30-round magazine in both semi-automatic and fully automatic modes, using the 7.92 by 33 round. Approximately 425,977 of these weapons were manufactured, primarily between 1944 and 1945. However, much like its predecessor, the G-43, the St. G-44 arrived too late in insufficient quantities to have a significant impact on the overall outcome of the war. Many German infantrymen never saw or used one during combat operations. Many combatants frequently faced shortages of ammunition as Germany's industrial base deteriorated. The technical development of the M1 Garand commenced well before World War II began. John Cantius Garand, born on January 1, 1888 in Saint-Rémy, Quebec, Canada, immigrated to the United States with his family in 1899. He started working at Springfield Armory on November 4, 1919, dedicating nearly 2 decades to refining his semi-automatic rifle design. Early versions experimented with various operating mechanisms and calibers. Initially, the U.S. Army preferred a 276 caliber round for superior ballistics compared to 3006. But General Douglas MacArthur, then serving as Army Chief of Staff, insisted on maintaining 3006 to utilize existing ammunition supplies and ensure compatibility with machine guns. This decision, made in 1932, delayed the rifle's adoption, but ultimately proved wise. Garand continued to enhance his design throughout the early 1930s. Rigorous testing at Aberdeen Proving Ground and Springfield Armory revealed several issues that were subsequently addressed. The gas system was simplified from an initial gas trap configuration to a more straightforward ported system. Improvements were made to the trigger mechanism, and ergonomic enhancements were introduced for the stock design. On January 9, 1936, the rifle was officially adopted as the U.S. rifle caliber, 30 Mon. Initial production levels were modest, with only a few thousand rifles manufactured in 1937 and 1938. As tensions rose leading up to World War II, production rates increased dramatically, reaching 600 rifles per day by January 1941. The M1 Garand served American forces during World War II, the Korean War, and into the early stages of Vietnam. It remained the standard service rifle until it was officially replaced by the M14 in 1957, with full replacement occurring on March 26, 1958. The first deliveries to troops began in July 1959, and complete transition across all units was not completed until 1961. Despite continuing usage by Reserve and National Guard units well into the 1970s, the M1 Garand had a profound psychological impact on German soldiers. This weapon symbolized technological superiority that contradicted everything they had been indoctrinated to believe about American capabilities through propaganda. Germans were conditioned to regard their own technology and tactics as superior. However, when individual German infantrymen, despite being well-equipped and highly trained, found themselves unable to outperform their American counterparts in firefights, the myth of superiority crumbled. After World War II, detailed analyses of small unit engagements consistently revealed that American infantry inflicted disproportionately higher casualties compared to Germans. Each soldier's rifle made a significant difference in combat effectiveness. The M1 Garand contributed to lower American casualty rates from German rifle fire, underscoring its efficiency. While superior tactics and positioning allowed the Germans some success initially, over time, the sheer volume of aimed fire from American infantry would inevitably find targets, suppress defensive positions, and facilitate their maneuver elements' ability to close in and destroy enemy formations. The legacy of the M1 Garand extends beyond World War II into modern firearms design. The principle it demonstrated, that infantry benefit from self-loading rifles' increasing rate of fire without compromising accuracy, became a cornerstone of post-war weapon development. Modern assault rifles, including the K-47 and M16, owe much to the conceptual foundations laid by the M1 Garand. It proved that semi-automatic operation was not just feasible but crucial for military rifles. The encounter between German infantrymen facing American forces armed with M1 Garands illustrates a moment when technological advantage triumphed over traditional military excellence, highlighting the critical importance of superior technology. Despite their excellent training and tactical doctrine, inferior weapons resulted in inferior outcomes. The M1 Garand provided American infantrymen with a tool that allowed them to fight effectively even when outnumbered, win firefights against seasoned troops, and advance against seemingly impenetrable positions. From the Philippines to North Africa, from Sicily to Normandy, across Europe's hedgerows to the banks of the Rhine, the M1 Garand served faithfully and effectively. It earned its reputation as one of the finest military rifles ever designed, with General Patton's praise being fully warranted. German soldiers learned through hard experience on battlefields spanning multiple theaters that American infantry firepower posed a fundamental tactical challenge that their bolt-action rifles could not surmount. The introduction of the M1 Garand marked a significant shift in warfare, signaling the end of large-scale infantry formations equipped with bolt-action rifles. Instead, semi-automatic rifles like the M1 Garand were poised to become the standard for militaries around the world. Despite their bravery and training, German soldiers found themselves at a disadvantage when it came to engaging the enemy effectively due to outdated weaponry. The numbers tell an unambiguous story. In the time it took a German soldier armed with a Mauser 98,000 to fire 3 precise shots, an American soldier using the M1 Garand could discharge 8 rounds. Evenly matched in skill and training, the American would hit 2 or 3 times as many targets. At the squad level, this disparity became even more pronounced, giving American infantry both numerical superiority and greater firepower, despite German forces often outnumbering them in terms of personnel. Post-war analysis by German military strategists consistently highlighted the critical role played by the disparity in firepower. General der Panzertruppen Hassel von Manteuffel, who commanded the 5th Panzer Army during the Battle of the Bulge starting on December 16, 1944, noted in his memoirs that American infantry had superior firepower even when defending against German attacks. The toll from this imbalance was evident in casualty statistics. While factors such as artillery, air power, tactics, and terrain influenced overall casualties, studies of small unit engagements consistently showed that American infantry inflicted disproportionately high losses on their opponents due to rifle fire alone. The M1 Garand played a significant role in these outcomes, contributing substantially to the higher rate of German casualties caused by rifle fire throughout the war. More than just a technical achievement, the M1 Garand symbolized America's forward-thinking industrial capabilities, outstanding engineering, and commitment to supplying soldiers with superior equipment. While Germany struggled to produce reliable semi-automatic rifles on a large scale, the United States had already equipped its entire military with proven, dependable weapons before entering World War II. This advantage was compounded across millions of soldiers and thousands of battles, significantly contributing to Allied victory. The distinctive sound of an M1 Garand firing, the metallic clip ejection, became synonymous with American infantry advancing into battle. These weapons became synonymous with Allied triumph in both Europe and the Pacific. German troops quickly learned to identify and acknowledge this distinctive sound, understanding that they were up against adversaries capable of delivering devastating firepower with precision and speed. The M1 Garand was undoubtedly the finest combat weapon ever created, and its superiority over the K-98,000 was evident on battlefields from 1941 through 1945. While the rifle did not single-handedly win the war, victory required a combination of coordinated efforts, air dominance, industrial capacity, and the bravery of millions. It provided a clear tactical advantage at the squad level where soldiers fought and died. This edge was often decisive in numerous engagements, saving American lives and contributing to the rapid conclusion of the conflict that might not have been possible otherwise. The M1 Garand stands as a testament to what well-designed military equipment can accomplish. It demonstrated that investing in soldier capabilities by providing them with top-tier tools yields significant dividends in terms of combat effectiveness and mission success. Serving the American military for over 2 decades, the rifle equipped soldiers across 3 major conflicts and influenced subsequent designs even today. For German infantrymen who encountered it on the battlefield, the M1 Garand was an unwelcome reminder of technological reality. Superior equipment wielded by skilled hands can make a profound difference in the outcome of battles.